Welcome to Briga-Science, and today we're going to be doing 3 experiments. I tried to pick 3 experiments with a lot of different materials, just so in case you're missing an ingredient for one, you can maybe do another one. And just make sure that before you do any of them, you've asked an adult, and make sure it's okay for you to borrow the different ingredients, I would recommend having someone close by to help you out, because sometimes some of the steps, it's easier if you do it and you have help. So first things you need is a balloon that is you want to stretch it out before the experiment or blow it up partially, just so that it's ready to be inflated when you do the chemical reaction. Then you need some sort of bottle that has a small enough opening so that you can stretch the balloon over it. And then you need 40 milliliters of water, or if you don't have something that measures in milliliters, you can use 1/8 of a cup. And then you need a 1/4 teaspoon to measure out the baking soda, and we're actually going to be using a teaspoon of baking soda, but I just found it's easier if you use the smaller one to put it into the opening, and then you can just do it 4 times. And then some lemon juice, and then a bonus material just to make everything easier is a funnel. It's not absolutely necessary, it's just easier to pour the liquids in here. And then what we're going to do is we're going to put the funnel on the top of the water bottle, and then pour our water in. And then after that, we're going to measure out a teaspoon. So I'm doing it 4 times since I have a 1/4 teaspoon measure. So after you've added the baking soda, you might want to swish the water around, kind of turn it sideways, because some of the baking soda will be on the side of your water bottle maybe. And then just mix it around like that. It'll look pretty cloudy, but as long as you can't see any clumps of baking soda, that means you're all ready for the next step. And then what you want to do is pour the lemon juice into I would say around 20 milliliters of lemon juice. And so this is where I would recommend doing this with a partner, just because one person can pour in the lemon juice, and then as soon as you do that, you're going to want to put the balloon over top of the thing so you get as much of the air as you can to blow up your balloon. Okay, so I'm ready. Ooh. And so as we watch the balloon, I'll explain some of the science that's happening here. So there's a chemical reaction that's actually happening to make a gas. So the lemon juice has citric acid in it, and baking soda is actually made of something called sodium bicarbonate, which acts as a base, and the acid and the base react, and they make a gas called carbon dioxide, which is the same thing that you breathe out when you're blowing up a balloon. And so that's how it blows up the balloon. So for this second experiment, we're going to be making balloon-powered paper airplanes. So what you need is a little clip, you need a balloon, you need some tape, some markers to decorate your paper airplane, a straw, and now I didn't have any straws in my house, so I used the little roll from my dog's poo bags. So yeah, you can get creative, really anything that's sort of straw-like in shape. And then some string or ribbon and a piece of paper. And the first thing that you're going to do is you're going to blow up your balloon. And bigger the better, just because it will give you more power later on. And then you're going to put a clip over the top so that it will stay inflated while you work on the other thing. And then what you're going to do is you are going to build a paper airplane. So first what you're going to do is you're going to fold it in half lengthwise so that it's long and skinny like that. So what you're going to do is you're going to take the top two corners and you're going to fold it down towards that crease you made from your original folding. So you're going to do that with one corner and really press down the fold so that it's nice and crisp. And then you're going to do that with the other side. And then what you're going to do is you're going to take the corner from the thing you just made and you're going to fold that towards the crease as well and do it with the other side too. So you're going to fold it just the same way you did in the original one so that all of those folded pieces are in the center. And you're going to fold down one side to make one wing, just like that, and the other side to make the other wing. You can decorate it with markers however you'd like. And if you want, you can tape up the sides so that it stays together. So you're going to take your straw and your string and you're going to thread your string through your straw. And then you're going to find two chairs. So I just use the chairs from my kitchen. And you're going to take one end of the ribbon to one of the chairs. And then you're going to take the other end of the ribbon to the other chair just to make sure that your plane has a nice straight flight path. So you're going to pull it pretty tight and make sure that the string is secure on both ends. So you might want to use a couple pieces of tape or maybe try it out with one piece of tape and then do it again, since science is all about trying stuff out and seeing what works and making your design a little better each time. So what you're going to do then is you're going to tape the paper airplane to the straw or whatever you found. So again, this is totally up to you how you want to attach it. You can try out a bunch of different ways if you want to attach it to the side or attach it at the top. You can try it out a bunch of different ways with different designs and see which one works best. So next what you're going to do is you're going to take your balloon and you're going to attach it to your plane again, however you like, the top, the bottom. You're going to take the opening and you're going to put it at the end opposite to the way you want to go. So if you want your plane to go that way, you'll put the opening facing the other way. And then, again, this is totally up to you. You can figure out ways to attach your balloon. Do you want to attach your balloon to the straw? Do you want to attach your balloon to the paper airplane itself? Again, it's all up to what you think is going to work, and then you can try it out and then test a bunch of different ways to see what works the best. So once you got it all set up, you can undo the clip and see how far it goes. As you can see, maybe your first design won't go too far, but you can try again. So let me explain the science behind your balloon-powered paper airplane. So basically, when you're blowing up a balloon, you're putting a bunch of air into your balloon and it's pushing on the sides of the balloon to stretch it out, but just like an elastic, when you pull it out, it wants to pull back in. So there's a force that's pushing on that air, and as soon as you open up the balloon, it's going to push all that air out really fast and push on the air in the room, and the air is actually going to exert a force back on that balloon in the opposite direction, which is pushing your airplane across your string. So I really encourage you, if your first design didn't go that far maybe, you can change the sizes of your airplane. You can change how you attach it. You can maybe blow your balloon up a little more. You can change the heights of the string. You can change the length of the string, the size of the string. Really, it's up to you to see which design you think is going to work the best, and you can even challenge a family member to race you using their own design. So for our third experiment, what you need is an Alka-Seltzer tablet, some food coloring, a clear jar or bottle just like our water bottle from the first experiment, and some vegetable oil, or I used canola oil. What I'm going to do is fill the jar up to a quarter of the way full. So once your mason jar is a quarter of the way full, you're going to take your vegetable oil and pour it in until it's mostly full. And then you're just gonna wait for the two layers to separate. So oil and water, they are very different types of molecules, and the molecules that make them up don't mix. So when you put salt in water, or when you put food coloring in water, it mixes with the water, but the oil does not mix with the water. And because the oil molecules are farther apart than the water molecules, it's what it's called less dense, so it sits on top of the water and makes two distinct layers like that. And it looks like mine is pretty separated. So you can use whatever color you want. You can use green. So you can add 8 drops of food coloring. And just like, so food coloring is actually mostly made up of water. And so they are more dense than the oil, so they'll fall through the oil. And they won't mix with the oil because they are mostly made up of water, and they'll form these little droplets, which are kind of cool to watch. So I really encourage you to watch that. And they will kind of sit on the layer between the oil and the water. So you can take a spoon and sort of push them down or mix it a little bit if they aren't immediately mixing with the water. And it can take a little bit of time for all that to happen, so you can use a spoon, or you can just wait and watch the science happen. So it doesn't matter if all your food coloring doesn't mix in. See, mine, there's still some little balls of food coloring, but as long as you got a pretty distinct color at the bottom, then what you're going to do is you're going to take your Alka-Seltzer tablet and you're going to break it up into around 6 pieces and try and put maybe 2 pieces at a time in. So what's happening here is just like in the first experiment, there's actually acid and base in these tablets, and when they dissolve in the water, those two components react and they make carbon dioxide, just like in the first experiment. And that carbon dioxide, the gas that's created in the bottom here, rises up to the top, and the food coloring and water in the bottom kind of hitches a ride with those bubbles of gas and goes to the top, and as soon as the gas is released, they then fall back to the bottom.
Science rules.
Thanks everybody for watching Briga-Science. I hope you learned some stuff and had some fun.